Hello, everyone. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something that is simple but very powerful: how to think in English. This is a problem that many learners have. Even if your life is busy, even if you feel shy, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, you can still learn to think in English one step at a time. Many people believe that they have to move to the UK or the US to learn English well, but this is not true. You don't have to live in London. You don't need a native speaker next to you all the time, and you don't need to study for many hours every night. What you really need are small, smart steps. Steps that are easy to repeat every day. Steps that fit into your daily life. For example, speaking for 1 minute in the morning, listening while walking, or thinking in English when you are alone. These small habits may seem simple, but over time they create real change. If you live in a country where people speak English every day, you will hear it often. You will use it often. So slowly, English becomes a part of your thinking. You don't need to translate anymore. When you want to say something, the sentence will come out directly in English. But for most people, this is not their situation. Most learners live in places where English is not used every day. This might be your situation too. Maybe you study by yourself. Maybe you only use English when you watch videos or read something online, and when you try to speak, you feel slow. You think in your own language first, then you try to switch it to English. This takes time, and sometimes your sentences sound strange because English has a different structure. For example, in your language, you might say something like, "I like it very much," but in English, we say, "I really like this a lot." This is why translating in your head can make speaking difficult and unnatural. The real problem. Let me tell you the real problem. You are not slow because your English is bad. You are slow because you are translating. Your brain is trying to do two things at the same time. First, you think in your own language. Then, you try to change it into English. This takes time. And while you are thinking, the conversation has already moved on. That's why you feel nervous. That's why you stop. Think about this. Someone asks you a simple question like, "What did you do today?" You understand, but before you answer, your brain goes back to your own language first. Then, you try to form an English sentence. And in that moment, you feel stuck. This is not because you are bad at it. It's because your brain is working too hard. But here is the good news. When you stop translating, things become faster and easier. You can train your brain to think directly in English. You don't need any special talent. You just need practice and a simple method. And today, I will show you how to do it. The shadowing technique. Let's start with one of the most powerful techniques, shadowing. Maybe you have heard this term before, or maybe it's new to you. Shadowing is a simple but very effective way to improve both your listening and speaking at the same time. Here's how it works. You listen to someone speaking English, like a podcast, a video, or even this audio. Then you repeat what you hear. You don't stop to think. You don't translate. You don't check the dictionary. You just listen and repeat like an echo. Try to copy, not just the words, but also the tone, speed, and rhythm. This is very important because English is not just about words. It has a flow. Let's try it together. I will say a sentence, and you repeat after me. I want to speak English fluently. Now you repeat. I listen to English every day. Now you repeat. Shadowing helps me think and speak better. Now you repeat. That is shadowing. At first, it may feel strange. You might feel like you are speaking too fast. You might not understand every word, but that's okay. Shadowing is not about understanding everything. It's about training your brain and your mouth to work together. Think about music. When you learn a song, at first you don't understand all the words, but you listen, you sing along, and slowly, you can sing it. Language works in a similar way. If you practice shadowing every day, even for 5 minutes, you will start to notice something. Your speaking becomes faster, your pronunciation becomes clearer, and your sentences start to feel more natural. This is because your brain is getting used to English patterns. Tip 1. Think in English. One thought at a time. Now let's go back to the main question. How to think in English. Many students tell me the same thing. I want to improve, but I don't have time. Or I feel nervous when I speak. Or I don't know how to start. And my answer is always simple. You don't need a lot of time. You don't need perfect grammar. And you don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just need to start. Let's begin with the first tip, which is simple but very powerful. Think in English one thought at a time. This is one of the biggest changes you can make when learning English. Many people try to translate everything from their own language, and this makes speaking slow and difficult. So instead of translating full sentences, you start with small thoughts. At the beginning, it will feel a bit difficult. Your brain will want to go back to your native language. That's normal, but you don't have to fight it too hard. You just need to guide your thinking step by step. Start with short and simple sentences in your mind. For example, when you wake up, you can think, "Morning already. I feel sleepy. I need a cup of coffee." When you go outside, you can say in your mind, "The sky is blue. The wind is cold. I see a dog." During your day, you can think, "I am working. I feel tired. I want to go home." These are simple thoughts, but they are very important. They help your brain connect directly to English. You are not translating, you are thinking, and that is the goal. Later, you can try saying these sentences out loud. You don't have to speak loudly. You can speak quietly or whisper. It may feel strange at first, but it's like having a short conversation with yourself, and this is one of the best ways to practice. Most teachers and experts say the same thing. Start small. A good first step is to think in single words. Look around you right now. What do you see? Try to name things in English. For example, phone, table, chair, window, door. At first, you might not know all the words. That's okay. You can skip them or look them up later. The important thing is to try. A teacher I know always tells his students to do this every day. When they wake up, they look around and name things. When they go outside, they do the same. After a while, something interesting happens. The words start coming into your mind automatically. You don't have to think too much. You can also make it a habit. For example, when you are in your room, name 5 things. When you are in the kitchen, name 5 things. Before bed, think about what you used today. Phone, bag, keys, food. This builds your vocabulary in a natural way. After you feel comfortable with nouns, you can add verbs. For example, I open the door. I drink water. I sit on the chair. Now your thinking becomes more active, not just naming, but also describing actions. Think in conversations and overcome obstacles. Now let's move to the next level, thinking in conversations. This means you imagine you are talking to someone, you ask questions and you answer them. This is very powerful because it prepares you for real life. For example, imagine someone asked you, "What did you do yesterday?" You can answer in your mind, "Yesterday I worked, then I went home, I watched a video and went to bed." Or imagine someone asked, "What do you like to do on weekends?" You can answer, "I like to relax, I watch movies, sometimes I go out with friends." At first, your answers will be simple. That's okay. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to get used to speaking in your mind without translating. You can do this anywhere, when you are walking, when you are waiting, when you are alone. You don't need a partner. You create the conversation yourself. And here's an important thing. Sometimes you won't know a word. Your mind will stop. At that moment, don't go back to your native language. Try to explain the idea in a different way. For example, if you don't know the word calculator, you can say, "The thing I use to count numbers." This is what happens in real conversations. The more you practice this way, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your brain will stop translating. Tip 2. Use English in daily life. The second tip is very important. Use English in your daily life. If you want to speak English well, don't just learn English, live with English. This idea is simple, but many people don't do it. They study for 30 minutes, then they stop. For the rest of the day, they go back to their own language, so their brain never gets used to English. But if you start using English in short moments throughout the day, things will begin to change. English becomes something natural, not something difficult. Think about your typical day. When you wake up, when you eat, when you walk, when you use your phone. These are all opportunities to use English. For example, in the morning, when you get dressed, you can say in your mind, "I put on my shirt, I put on my shoes, I take my bag." When you are outside, you can say, "I walk to work, I wait for the bus, I see many people." These are simple sentences, but they help you stay in English longer. At first, it may feel slow. You might have to think a lot. That's okay. You are training your brain. You can also do this when you're doing daily tasks. For example, when you are cooking, you can say, "I chop the vegetables, I cook the rice." The food smells good. When you're using your phone, you can think, I check my messages, I watch a video, I reply to my friend. These small actions happen every day, so you have many opportunities to practice. You don't need extra time. You just use the time you already have. Another useful way is to describe your day using simple sentences. Let's start with the present tense. This is the easiest way. For example, I work in an office. I answer emails. I talk to my boss. Keep it simple and clear. After that, you can try thinking about your plans. This helps you use different tenses. For example, in the morning, you can say, today, I will go to work. I will meet my friend. I will study English tonight. Or, you can make a small plan in your mind. After work, I will go buy coffee. Then I will go back home. I will watch a video and relax. At first, it may feel more difficult, but it helps you talk about the future. You can also think about past actions at night. For example, today I worked a lot. I talked to my friend. I learned some new words. So now you are using 3 time forms: present, future, and past. This is how real language works in daily life. And this is why this method is so powerful. You are not memorizing. You are using English again and again in real situations. Your brain starts to remember the patterns. You don't have to translate every time. Over time, something changes. You stop thinking in your own language first. You start thinking directly in English. And that is a big step toward fluency. Tip 3. Immerse yourself in English. The third tip is very simple, but it is also very important. Immerse yourself in English. This means you listen to English every day. If you want to think in English and speak more naturally, you need to hear the language often. Not once a week, not only in the classroom, but a little bit every day. Many learners focus too much on grammar or vocabulary, but they forget one thing. Language is something you hear first. Before you can speak well, your brain needs to get used to the sounds of English. Listening helps you learn new words, but more importantly, it helps you understand real English sounds. You learn the rhythm, speed, and how people speak naturally. This is something books cannot teach you. At first, listening may feel difficult. You might feel like you don't understand anything. Maybe you only catch a few words. This is normal. Many people stop at this point because they think, this is too hard for me. But in fact, this is the most important stage. Your brain is learning, even if you don't notice it yet. Think about when you listen to music in a different language. At first, it sounds like noise, but after you hear it many times, you start to recognize words. Then you understand small parts. Language works the same way, so you don't need to understand 100%. Even if you understand 30% or 50%, it is still very useful. Your brain is slowly making connections. Over time, you will understand more without having to translate. Now, how can you do this in real life? It's very simple. You can listen to podcasts like this one. You can listen to English music. You can watch short videos on YouTube. You can listen to simple stories or English news for learners. Choose something you enjoy, because if you like it, you will keep doing it. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a big difference. If you do this every day, your ears will gradually become stronger. You will start to recognize common words and phrases. And one day you will notice something surprising. You will understand without thinking too much. This is when you stop translating because your brain is now used to English. So don't worry if it feels slow at the start. Just keep listening. Make English sound like music in your life. And over time, it will become natural for you. Tip 4. Speak out loud and train your speaking muscles. The fourth tip is very important. Speak out loud and train your speaking muscles. Many learners read English in their heads, and that's good for understanding. But if you want to speak better, you have to use your voice. Speaking is a physical skill. It uses your mouth, tongue, lips, and breath. If you don't practice, it will feel difficult every time you try to speak. So reading out loud is a simple but powerful habit. Choose something easy, not too difficult. It could be a short story, a simple dialogue, or even subtitles from a video you like. At first, read it slowly. Focus on clear pronunciation. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Then read it again a little faster. Then read it again with more feeling, like you are telling a story or acting in a movie. For example, if you read the sentence, I'm happy to meet you. Don't just read the words. Try to feel it. Say it like you mean it. This helps your brain understand not just the meaning, but also the feeling in English. At first, you might feel uncomfortable. Maybe your voice sounds strange, maybe some words are hard to say. That's normal. Even simple words like world or comfortable can be tricky. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Think of it like going to the gym. The first time is always hard, but if you train a little bit every day, your muscles get stronger. Your speaking works the same way. Now, let's move to the next step. Use what you hear and say it out loud. Listening is important, but speaking is what makes you improve faster. After you hear a sentence, say it again. Not just the words, but also the tone, rhythm, and feeling. For example, listen to this. I want to get better at English. Now, say it again. Try to match the speed and tone. I don't understand everything, but I keep going. Say it again. I am improving little by little. Say it again. When you do this, you are training your mouth to move naturally in English. You are also training your ears to hear the correct pronunciation. At first, you might not sound like the speaker. That's okay. Don't stop. Just keep going. Over time, your voice will become smoother. Your pronunciation will become clearer, and you will feel more comfortable speaking. You can do this anywhere, at home, in your room, or even when you are alone outside. Some people practice while walking or cooking. You don't need a perfect place. You just need to use your voice. Also, repetition is very important. Don't say something once and move on. Repeat it again and again. It helps your brain remember the sounds and structure. For example, you can say a sentence again 5 times, 10 times, or more. It might feel boring, but this is how your speaking becomes natural. So, remember this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs practice. If you use your voice every day, even for a few minutes, you will see a big difference over time. Your speaking will become easier, clearer, and more confident, and that is the goal. Tip 5. Change simple daily habits. The 5th tip is about changing a simple habit in your daily life. This is one of the easiest ways to learn English, even if you are very busy. You don't need extra time. You just use the time you already have. Start by changing your phone settings to English. Think about how many times you look at your phone in a day. Maybe 50 times. Maybe even 100 times. You check messages, social media, the time, or notifications. So why not turn this time into study time? When your phone is in English, you start seeing English words again and again. Words like settings, airplane mode, brightness, update, delete, or download. At first, you might not understand everything, but after a few days, you start to recognize these words. You don't have to study them. You don't have to memorize them. Your brain learns them naturally because you see them so often. This is called passive learning. It means you learn without feeling like you are learning. It's simple but very powerful, especially for people who are busy or don't have much time. Another habit you can build is writing a short journal in English every day. You don't need to write long paragraphs. You don't need to worry about perfect grammar. Just write 3 simple sentences about your day. For example, you could write, "Today, I went to work. I felt very tired. I drank 2 cups of coffee." Or, "It rained this morning. I stayed home. I watched an English video." These sentences may look simple, but they are really useful. They help you practice sentence structure. They help you use real vocabulary from your own life. And most importantly, they help you think in English, not translate. You can do this at night before you go to bed. It only takes 5 minutes. You can write in a notebook or on your phone. If you want, you can also send your sentences to a friend who is also learning English. You write, they reply. Now it becomes a real conversation. And another simple way is to use short videos. Nowadays, platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts are full of short English videos. These videos are usually easy to understand and close to real life. You can choose any topic you like. Travel, food, daily life, or even funny videos. The important thing is that you enjoy it. Watch a short video once, twice, or 3 times. Then pause and say the sentences again. Try to copy how the speaker talks. Pay attention to the tone, speed, and how they connect words together. Even if the video is only 20 seconds long, it's enough, because you are not just watching, you are listening, repeating, and practicing. This is how you train your ears and mouth together, and this is how real speaking improves. If you combine these small habits, changing your phone, writing a short journal, and reviewing short videos. You will start to see a big difference. Not in one day, but over time. Your brain will become more used to English, and slowly, you will stop translating. You will start thinking directly. Conclusion. Okay, so let's make it simple. Thinking in English is not as difficult as you think. It doesn't take a lot of time, and you don't need a teacher next to you all the time. You can practice it by yourself in your daily life, step by step. Here is the real secret. You don't need to add anything new to your day. You just need to change what you already do into English. For example, instead of checking your phone in your own language, try reading a message in English. Instead of writing your daily notes in your own language, try writing a simple sentence or two in English. When you are walking, instead of thinking in your own language, try to describe what you see in English. These are very small actions, but they are very powerful. When you repeat these small actions every day, they gradually become habits. And strong habits build confident speakers. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up every day and use English a little more. Think about your typical day. You wake up, you check your phone, you eat, you go to work, you relax. All of these moments can become practice. For example, in the morning, you can think, I feel sleepy. At lunch, you can think, this food is delicious. At night, you can say, today was a busy day. These are simple, but they help your brain stay in English. Over time, something important happens. You stop translating. You stop thinking in two languages. English starts coming into your mind more naturally. So, remember this. Don't treat English like homework. Don't think I need 1 hour to study. Instead, make English a part of your life. Let it be in your phone, in your notes, in your thoughts, and in your voice. Let it be something you use, not just something you learn. When you do this, English feels different. It feels easier. It feels more natural. And this is where real fluency begins. So, start small, stay consistent, and keep moving forward. See you next time. Goodbye for now. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue developing your English skills, click on the next video or explore more videos that we have carefully selected for you.